stuff happens in our lives, we look and I look at my life different and I watch everybody else and how they react to things that happen in their lives. And I look and I'm like, wow, I see things that happen and people go immediately, what are we gonna do? This, what's gonna happen? And we joke, me and my wife, because stuff happens in our lives and we're just like, all right, we all right, so how we gonna fix that? What are we gonna do? Never a 10 moment, even when it should be 10. Like when stuff happening, like your daughter at a park and she got a third-degree burn on her hand and we need to run to the hospital. Even our children, she like went to the little first aid place, got it wrapped, and she was like, okay, can we go back in the water? Like, baby, that's a third, like bubbles, third-degree burn. She like, I'm gonna go back in the water. And it was just like the next day we did what we had to do. But even looking at even how everyone in our house moves, where we don't let situations determine our attitude on what needs to happen. And God really impressed on me that so many people forfeit their blessing because they don't adopt that attitude. Soon as something happens, they immediately go here. And it negates what heaven is trying to do in that situation. It puts on pause until we get it together. It's like something happens and we run, oh my God. And then at some point we're like, okay, God, I'm going to need you. And God's like, if you'd have done this like 3 hours ago, I had somebody already in place. Now I'm going to have to bring them back around and everything else. And I said, God, how do I get people? What can I say, or what can we do to get to that place of automatic, just not even letting it bother you? And it's so funny, Dr. Sherry this week on the prayer call told everybody to write down their testimony. So write down your testimony, write it down. And even up to the day before yesterday, she was like, did you write your testimony down? I was like, oh, I don't know, write my testimony down. She like, you need to write your testimony down. I'm like, oh, I don't like writing because my memory is like spot on. Like I can remember the words you say last year. My memory is spot on. So for me, I just think about, so immediately my testimony's in my head. So I can spit it out. I'd be like, but she said, did you write? I'm like, oh, write it. Like, fine, I'll write it. So as I went to write, then me and God had some conversations on the side. I'm like, all right, God, what's this writing a testimony thing? What is a testimony for real? So I started looking and reading and looking up what testimony is. And most people think it's the, you write down the good stuff. This is what happened. This is what I wrote. Started to realize it was so much more than that. And in doing so, because I remember mine, it keeps me in the place of when stuff happens, I'm like, I'm good. This ain't nothing. And I just want to share that real quick before we get to the Dr. Sherry part. Which she was unaware of. So as I started looking it up and I'm going through the different translations, in Hebrew, the word testimony is not a one word thing. There's a lot of words that mean testimony, but it means testimony with something slightly different added on. And as I started going through it, I was amazed. I'm like, wow. So as I look it up, testimony in the Greek, the first word is ados. Is that the first one? That's I want to go. Oh, is that the last one? Nope, that's the last one. Okay. The first one they have is EDAH, because I'm be killing these names. ADAH. It means testimony and a witness. The first one, EDUTH, means testimony by itself. So that's my testimony. I'm giving my own testimony of what happened. The second one, EDAH, means testimony and a witness. So now I can testify to what happened to you because I've seen it. The third one is MARTURION, Maturion, which a testimony, a witness, and evidence and proof, which means I not only know me and I saw you, but I have proof of what happened. I got paperwork. I come with receipts of what just happened. And then it kept going. And then another one is MARTURIA, maraturia, which means witness, evidence, testimony, and reputation. On my testimony, I am giving homage to the reputation of God. This is his reputation. This is what he's known for. And the fourth one is TEUDAH, to Odu, something like that. It means testimony and attestation. I was like, attestation, that's kind of the same as reputation, ain't it? It says, is the fact of witnessing the signing of a formal document and then also signing it to verify that it was properly signed by those bound by its content. Attestation is a legal acknowledgement of the authenticity of the document and the verification that proper process was followed. Because I can testify all day, but you don't know how I got it. I can testify I got a brand new car, but I ain't telling you I sold drugs for it. This one right here tells you I can testify that he did that the right way. That God blessed him, not something else he did. And I said, okay, God. So what does all of this mean? How do I get this now that I got all this testimony knowledge? How does this work? He said, go to Joshua 4, 1 and 7. This is back to the first one, that word AYDOOTH. Joshua 4, 1 through 7. I'm gonna read it. And it came to pass when all the people were clean passed over Jordan, that the Lord spoke unto Joshua, saying, take you 12 men out of the people, out of every tribe, a man, and command ye them, saying, take you hence out of the midst of Jordan, out of the place where the priest's feet stood firm, 12 stones, and ye shall carry them over with you, and leave them in a lodging place, where ye shall lodge this night. Then Joshua called the 12 men whom he had prepared of the children of Israel out of every tribe, a man. And Joshua said unto them, pass over before the ark of the Lord your God in the midst of Jordan, and take you up every man of you a stone upon your shoulder, according unto the number of the tribes of the children of Israel, that this may be a sign unto you, that when your children ask their fathers in times to come, saying, what mean ye by these stones? Then ye shall answer them that the waters of Jordan were cut off before the ark of the covenant of the Lord. When it passed over Jordan, the waters of the Jordan were cut off, and these stones shall be for a memorial, a testimony unto the children of Israel forever. God, why am I writing down my testimony? So when your children ask, why do you have this? So you can tell them what the Lord did and build their faith. Scratch children. Why do I have this testimony? So when I go back and read it, it tells me this is what God did. Don't forget it. So now, in all of the times when things happen, when you've written down 2 and 3 books worth of testimony, when something happens, you look back and be like, child, this ain't nothing. Because your memory may not be like mine. Oh my God, what's going to happen? But that tap on your shoulder said, you remember on page 5? You remember last year when you didn't have no food and somebody came to your house and knocked on your door and said, you know what? God just said, give me this. Why are you stressing about your fridge being empty right now? You remember when that whole situation broke down and you ain't know what you was going to do, and all of a sudden people just started calling you out. Hey, you need something? This is why we write down the testimony. So it can be a remembrance for when our children / us ask, why is that? Why y'all not stressed? Let me show you the books of my testimony. Let me let you understand what we come through. So when you don't see me stressing is because I know the attestation of my God. I know the reputation of my God. I was there and was a witness of my God. I understand this ain't nothing because he's already done it. So in getting to that place of, I don't want to be in a place where stuff always stresses me out, write your testimony. Write your testimony. Write your testimony. And at that point, I was like, okay. So I had to go, I got a whole new folder. It says testimony. And I did it on computer. So when I get it, I get it. Because mine says testimony. And then, because like I said, I remember everything. So not only is it a testimony, but my says testimony journal. And there are chapters in my testimony journal. My first chapter says grace. So all the times he done showed grace. And the next one says meeting my needs. So it was all the times he done met my needs. The next one was financial. And it was all the times he came. So when I go back, I'm like, I ain't got to flip through pages. I'm like, I need some great. Wait, God, grace. Oh, I remember when you did that. Oh, I remember when you did that. Oh, yeah, I remember when you did. Okay, I'm good. So writing your testimony is not just for the kids that are coming after you. It's for you till you get to that place of saying, child, please. Child, please. And you know what? The more you get to that place of saying, child, please, the less you say, child, please. Because the enemy like, dang, it don't even make no sense no more. I can't even stress them no more. Stop. Like, yeah. After a while, them bullies, after a while that you don't do nothing, they be like, man, forget it. So write your testimony, make it plain. Write it down so you can build in yourself and circumvent what the enemy's trying to do. Amen. 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 So for all y'all watching at home, it is Dr. Sherry's birthday and we hanging out today. So before we go into this next segment, she said we gonna go off. We not going off. So all right. So Dr. Sherry does not want her whole birthday celebration on this thing. So this little short sermonette was for you guys online, and for you guys that are not here, we love you. Join us next week. We will be back in full service unless God leads us somewhere else. But for now, thank you guys for tuning in, and we are